We live in an interesting time as artists. The technology of today can help us in so many ways. First, we can use it to explore new skills or to improve existing ones via instructional videos. Artists can use it to scale small sculptures or purely digital pieces into huge works of public art. We can listen to educational or inspirational podcasts, including how to conduct business as an artist. Artists can access countless modern and historical works of art through museum websites, galleries, and other online collections. We can create professional-level animation in a fraction of the time it took generations before us. Artists can now use digital tablets to simplify a number of processes, as well as use them as the origin of digital drawings. We can use our computers to keep a digital portfolio and use our phones as a portable gallery. This is by no means a full list of the ways that we can integrate technology into our art. So this short demo will focus on how we can use technology to manipulate our reference photos. During this demo, I'll be using Apple products because that's what I have, but I promise you can find most of these things on other devices or other platforms, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Without changing anything else about a photo, cropping can have a huge impact on the overall look and focus of a photo. At times, changing your position or angle can help you avoid visual clutter. Sometimes it's impossible to avoid miscellaneous objects or people. Cropping will help you eliminate distracting or irrelevant visual elements. It can also focus on the subject, remove background or foreground junk, and it helps with preserving privacy at times. In the same vein as cropping, you can remove or change the area surrounding the subject. Sometimes all you really need is the subject of the photo. The software in our phones has made this very fast and easy. Unfortunately, making the process user-friendly also takes away some of the control. That's where more robust software comes in, such as Photoshop, Procreate, and GIMP, which is free. Using these apps or programs gives you a lot more control, as well as being able to save your image as a PNG file, or PNG, which supports transparency. One of the most obvious elements of a photo is the exposure. In many cases, the environment is not within your control. If you think about it, the whole art of photography is learning to control the camera for the best outcome. You can regulate your camera to account for many of these pitfalls. That's all well and good, but let's say I forgot to change the settings and I'm home now with a bunch of pictures that are either too dark or overblown. Most software on our phones or our computers have ways of addressing these issues. For example, if it's a dark photo, you can go under Edit to the Adjust menu, and there are several options including Exposure, Brilliance, Highlights and Shadows, Brightness and Contrast. If the photo is overblown, there's still a way to salvage it. For example, if you take the exposure and the highlights down, it can often fill in the area where the detail is lost. While the goal of manipulating a reference photo is not to make a frameable printout, there are reasons that changing a picture in particular ways can help with regard to printing. One of the most common reasons to print an image is to use it to get the major proportions correct. Our sketches for composition and subject matter are the creative part, so getting the proper proportions on our expensive drawing paper is simply a time-saving and practical solution. So in that case, you may want to simplify the image by increasing the contrast. To save expensive printer ink, you can draw a simple outline to trace the main shape and guidelines of your subjects. Another reason to print out an image is to be able to see the fine detail much better. You can enhance the focus and sharpening and print it out to have on hand. Most of the time, when we manipulate our reference photos, our goal is to bring out more of what was intended in the initial photo. But sometimes we can use software to change the image in creative ways. One way is to alter the local color to make a completely new palette or to change one element. Another way to creatively use software is to make a collage of different reference photos. This can help with composition and layout. Being able to easily move objects around speeds up this process. Making photos into outlines or even simplified black and white pictures can be used to make coloring pages for kids or to teach colored pencil technique to those who are intimidated by not being able to draw. I recently used this method to introduce about 30 newcomers to watercolor and colored pencil. Filters are a fun way to change a photo in one click. Photoshop has a lot of built-in filters, but there are some apps whose sole purpose it is to provide a variety of different styles and effects. So in this brief video, we've only covered a tiny portion of how to manipulate our reference photos. But I hope this demo has either reminded you of things you already knew or shown you a couple of things you didn't. But mostly I'd like to encourage you to try out something new with your photos, and please ask me anything you have any questions about. Thanks.